What's up? Barry here with Dumb Guys. About to do another live draft. This is our main league. I play in this with Heath and some friends. This is a 10-team head-to-head league, 5x5 categories. Our categories: offensive, we've got runs, home runs, RBIs, OPS, stolen bases. On the pitching side, we've got wins, saves, ERA, whip, and strikeouts. Okay, we've got 4 minutes and 30 seconds until the draft begins. Super excited. I've been sitting here for the past 45 minutes kind of putting together my strategy for this draft. It's going to be a little bit different than I normally do, so we'll see if I can swoop on the guys I want to swoop on. And as usual, I'm going to be bad-mouthing Joe's team, because I don't know what he's thinking when he drafts the guys he drafts. No, but on a more serious note here, I do have a different strategy than I normally go with. I am actually considering taking a pitcher in the first round. I normally wouldn't do that, but I really want one of those top pitchers. And in fact, I am in the number 4 slot. So I'm in a perfect position to pick up Kershaw with my first pick. Kershaw's ranked number 5. The only problem is that there's somebody drafting ahead of me, Portugoose, who I know he likes to target pitchers as well. So we'll see if he reaches and grabs Kershaw before I have a chance. But if he doesn't, Kershaw's going to be my number 1 pick. My number 2 pick, flipping on the other side, I really, really want Sanchez. I do not like any of the catchers past Sanchez. So if I don't get Sanchez, I'm going to be digging really deep for a catcher, because just none of the catchers really pique my interest. I do like Posey, but, you know, Posey, I mean, I guess Posey's going to be okay. I would accept a Posey.
Not too shabby. If there's one thing that we learned from historical data in Yahoo Fantasy Leagues, it's that
announcement here. Let's see.
Top 5 pick. Those selections tend to produce the most league winners. You've got one, you're in a great situation. For me, the pick here is going to be Clayton Kershaw.
Boom.
We look back over the last, 6
It's the Yahoo recommendation, and he just told me to pick Kershaw.
ERA titles. He produces the best fantasy ratios in the game. He has 5 ERA titles during that stretch. That is exactly what you want out of a starting pitcher. A lot of innings, a lot of strikeouts, great ratios. Great thing about taking Clayton Kershaw, you're not going to have to take another pitcher for at least 10 rounds.
So that's pretty interesting that Yahoo's recommendation for being in the 4th spot is to take Kershaw. And I already told you, I agree with that. So if he can get to me, I will take him. Okay, we got 1 minute to go. So with just continuing on my strategy here, just to let you know, so Sanchez is my number 2 pick that I want because of catcher, because of how shallow catcher is. I could fall back on a Posey, but I'm in a league with a bunch of Giants fans. I don't think I'm going to get to Posey without reaching, and I don't feel like he's reach-worthy. So then for my next pick, third base is important to me, and all the good third basemen are pretty early on in the draft, so I do want to swoop on a good third baseman, and the guy that I've kind of targeted for the 3rd round is Bregman. I want to get Bregman. I think he's going to have a good season. A lot of guys like Bregman. In my league here, I know for sure, I know Dumb Guy Heath is going to be targeting him, so I'm going to have a tough time getting a hold of him, but hopefully I can get a hold of Bregman. And then from there, I'm going to start swooping up more pitchers, and I really want to have at least 2 top performing pitchers, and I think Severino is going to have a great season. So Severino is going to be my second pitcher that I target. And here we go. I think we just started. And we're off. All right, Trout goes number 1. Big surprise there. Here's Portegoose. Let's see what he does. Let's see. Ah, he did it. He took Kershaw. All right. Well, I am going to take Scherzer here. I don't see any other way. This is my strategy. I really want Scherzer. It's either Scherzer or Sale, and I think Scherzer is the better option. I'm leaving some guys on the table. I'm leaving Giancarlo Stanton on the table. I'm leaving Bryce Harper on the table. I don't want Altuve. I don't want Trey Turner. Blackman, I questioned him. So, and Mookie Betts, I saw him on a most likely to bust list, and I kind of agree. I don't think he's the guy. So Scherzer's the one for me. Here we go. Pulled the trigger on that one. People think it's interesting. I just got a whole bunch of comments on me taking Scherzer there. I agree. Typically, I wouldn't reach that far in the first round for a pitcher. But if I didn't, I wasn't going to get any of those top pitchers. So it was the perfect storm for me to take a pitcher and to dig that deep. The only person that I really could regret there is Stanton. Now, I've got Stanton in one of my other leagues, so if he has a great year, which I think he's going to, I'm going to reap the benefits there. You know, I'll suffer in this league, I guess, but I've got some plans. He's going to bring a lot of home runs. He's going to bring a lot of RBIs. He's going to score a lot of runs with the Yankees. He's going to have a great OPS, but I think I can make that up elsewhere. And one of those places I think I can make it up is going to be at the catcher position, where it's super shallow after Sanchez. Sanchez is going to have a great season, I think. Sanchez is off to a great start in spring training. He had a great year last year. He's got some pop. This is a guy who is going to give me a huge advantage over everybody else in that position. So it looks like dumb guy Heath took Betts, the guy I didn't want, and Goldschmidt, which I do like Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt's dropping all the way down to 11, and that's a steal. I think that's a steal. Even though the humidor's going in Arizona, and we don't know what that's going to do to his power, but no, I'm a fan of Goldschmidt. I think he brings a lot to the table with his stolen base threat, high batting average, good power, absolutely. Again, this is going to come around to me, and I'm going to be leaving a lot of guys on the table to get Sanchez. And I could possibly wait for my third pick. I'm up now because Correa is sitting there, and he's very tempting. But I don't see Sanchez being there when I come back, and my plan was to get Sanchez here. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick with my strategy because that's why I made it. And I don't normally do this kind of thing. I don't normally reach, especially this early, but I'm reaching just a little bit here. I'm going to draft Sanchez. Now my third pick, I may get a little bit better third baseman than I thought I was going to get. I was going to go to Bregman, and I like Bregman, and I like the fact that he's third base and shortstop eligible. But if Donaldson is available, I might go with him. No, but you know what? I'm not going to get Bregman if I let Bregman sit. Because I know dumb guy Heath is going to swoop him up. And I like the fact that he could slip into the shortstop position and third base. Although I like some shortstops later on. There's no way that Bregman gets by. Let's see here. But Ramirez actually is available. And I would have a hard time passing him up. Yeah. I've got Jose Ramirez in one of my other leagues. I'm confident he's going to have a good year. He's the reason why I'm not high on someone like Altuve, because I think he kind of offers some of the same abilities, 20-plus home runs. Maybe he's not going to steal as many bases, but 20 stolen bases. I can't pass him up. I got to take him. So I took him over Bregman. I guarantee you that dumb guy Heath is going to draft Bregman. There's a possibility if he takes someone else, he could fall to me, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because he's right there on the verge of my next pick, but I don't see that happening. If he does fall there, I will take him. I will take Bregman. I kind of overestimated my picks here, or underestimated my picks, because I've got one more pick in between where Severino was ranked and where I was expecting to take him. I'm really going to be curious here what dumb guy Heath does with his 10 and 11 pick. Well, actually his 30 and 31 pick. And here we go. Let's see what happens. He took Donaldson. I passed Donaldson up, and he took DeGrom. So Bregman actually stayed alive there. I still have a few more people drafting. Don't know if I'm going to get a hold of him, but I will definitely take him if he's still available, because he could slot into third base for me. I have a late second baseman that I'm eyeing, so I could move Ramirez to third base, but that would just give me a little bit more depth. Okay, we got the Tweedle Beetles up right now. With 45 seconds left on the clock. And he took Verlander. Verlander's getting old. I know he's still good. I know he showed a lot towards the end of last season, but he wasn't great throughout early on in that season. So he could have figured it out. He could have gotten over an injury and been ready to go, or not. Oh man, someone just swooped on Bregman. Okay, Bregman's off the table. Let's see here. Rendon is a option for third base. Because Bregman was my third base option. So now, what am I going to do for third base? You know what? I don't want anybody to swoop in and take Severino. So I think Severino will be my next pick. And then I'm picking just a few picks after that. 7 picks later. I might... Rendon might be available. I've got... Like I said, I've got Ramirez who can drop into third base, so... Now, this league, we changed around the roster a little bit, so we have 4 starting pitcher positions, 2 relief pitcher positions, and 6 bench spots, I believe. And then pretty standard catcher, first, second, third, short, 3 outfielders, 2 utility. Rendon is still there. I got one more guy ahead of me. Let's see if Joe swoops on me. Joe didn't swoop, so I'm going to get Rendon, and that covers my third base. So good. I'm back on track now. Next, I want an outfielder. And there's a couple of guys that I'm eyeing, and I don't think I'm going to get those guys because there are too many people that need to draft before I get there. And again, they're guys that I know Dumb Guy Heath likes, and he's got 2 picks before I get one. Not a lot of outfielders going right now, though. So, and there's a lot of outfielders available in this area of the draft. We're in the 5th round, and it's heavy outfield. A lot of pitchers getting swooped up right now. Got a couple of pitchers that I'm eyeballing. Keuchel, Greinke for my next pitcher, and McCullers. Where's McCullers? I think McCullers is going to have a good season. He is lights out in spring so far. He's young. I didn't realize how young he was. I think he's like 24, 26, something like that. Younger than I thought he was, so... I think he's got a lot of improvement, or a lot of time to improve. He's still young. He's shown some flashes. We'll see what he can do, see what he can put together. All right. Here's Dumb Guy Heath. Okay, Dumb Guy Heath swooped on Buxton. That was one of the outfielders I was eyeballing. Let's see if he gets another one. I really wanted to pick up... Yeah, he did. He took both of them. He swooped on Chris Davis from the A's. He took both of the guys that I had queued for my outfield. Oh, man, I knew he was going to do that. But both of them. I mean, I figured he'd take one of them, but he took them both. What I really wanted to do, though, is I want to get some stolen bases here. Marte was a guy I was looking at. His OPS is kind of low. He's got a little bit of pop. Who knows what happens coming back from his suspension last year, if he can really put up some good numbers, or if the numbers he put up in the past were all just steroids. So I'm not drafting Hamilton. I had him last year. You can go watch our other videos to find out about that. We did a stolen base strategy video, and Hamilton is the last person I want to draft. Maybe Pham. Be taking a chance. He broke out last year, but he could be a good option. I guess the question is he going to be a better option than Marte? Marte, they're projecting 42 stolen bases. Pham, they're only projecting 23. But with a higher OPS, a few more home runs, 10 more home runs. It looks like Marte may fall right in my lap here, unless the guy ahead of me takes him, which he did. So there goes that. So let's see here. Swoop. All right. I want an outfielder. I want somebody with stolen bases. Justin Turner is sitting here, though, and I do like Justin Turner. He's not going to get me stolen bases, but I could slot him into my utility spot. Xander Bogaerts is available. McCutchen. I think I'm going to dip down and I'm going to do... You know what? I need a first baseman. I'm going to get Will Myers. He's got some stolen bases and some pop. So I've drafted him in one of my other leagues, so I'm just buying stock. Buying stock in Will Myers. Okay. And now to my next pitcher. And let's see. Murphy's off the board. Posey's off the board. Again, the question comes to the humidor. Is the humidor in Arizona going to make a big difference? It made a difference in Colorado when they put that in. Zach Greinke had a pretty decent year last year. He's got ace material. He's been really good in the past. If that humidor takes some of the pop out of the ball in Arizona and Zach Greinke turns around and has a great season, he could be a really good pickup. I think Greinke's the guy I want here. He'll be my third pitcher. And that was my goal here, was to have a really strong starting pitching rotation. I'm not so worried about saves right now. I'm going to wait on saves. I'm going to go deep on saves. I really want... I want strikeouts. I want whip. I want ERA. I want those stats. Wins. Scherzer and Severino, those guys are going to get wins. Those guys are going to get some strikeouts. Those guys are going to be solid. Robbie Ray's off the board. Another Arizona pitcher that could benefit from the humidor. Turner's finally off the board. Pham's off the board. I don't have any outfielders yet. Alright, Chapman just got swooped. I am going to do Greinke. There's a couple of guys on the board here ahead of him in the pitching category, but I think I like the idea of Greinke above these guys. I think he's got the chance to turn around and have one of those spectacular years that he had just a couple years ago. So Greinke it is. Now I still don't have a shortstop. There's some shortstops deep that I can Get Elvis Andrews is still available. Shortstop is the last infield position I need. My pitching is coming along very nicely, so I'm pretty happy about that. I need an outfield slot right now. And I may go with Pollock. I picked up Pollock on one of my other teams, and they're projecting 30 stolen bases out of him. He might get the other side of the humidor. He may take some pop out of his bat. He only hit 14 home runs last year, but that was, let me see, in 425 at bat, so not a full season for him. The other guy that I'm eyeballing at in the outfield, Cespedes. I could take either of those guys. Kane is available. I like Kane as well. Moving over to the Brewers. Domingo Santana. There was some question on whether the Brewers had too big of a crowd in the outfield, and whether Santana was going to get playing time. They do have a lot of guys out there. I have another option too, depending on. So Paxton just got swooped up by dumb guy Heath, but I could go the pitcher route. I could wrap up my rotation with McCullers if he's still there in 5 more picks. Garrett Cole is also still available in the starting pitcher realm, along with Archer and Quintana. I like the idea of Cole or McCullers, though, over those guys. All right, question still remains. Do I take a outfielder, which I do not have, or do I take a pitcher and round out my rotation? A lot of guys going to take picks in between my next one. McCutchen and Cabrera off the board. I feel like I got to go outfield here. I feel like there's still a lot of out. There goes Cole. There goes Nebel. I feel like outfield is the place I need to go now. Archer's gone. Oh man. But I'm tempted to take McCullers. I'm really tempted to take McCullers here. I feel like there's outfielders that are going to be available. I'm looking at there's pitching too. You know what? I'm going to pull the trigger. It's either Cespedes or Pollock. Cespedes or Pollock. I'm going to buy stock in Pollock. Because I'm looking here, and if McCullers isn't available, I can also fall back on Berrios with Minnesota. I do like him. And again here, we're rounding out my starting pitching. I will be done with starting pitching in the 10th round, basically, with my 10th round pick. No, in the 9th round. And that was my goal. My goal was to have good pitching. And right now, I'm really happy with my starting pitching. My pitching looks really good. And, I mean, my lineup's not too shabby. Looking pretty good. Feel like there's a lot of options in the outfield actually coming up. Getting crap for my Pollock pick. All right, Hosmer's off the board. Waiting for Mad Hunter to take his second pick. He had the #1 pick, so he's picking back to back. And this is where I take a picture. Tanaka's gone. Hendricks off the board, so starting pitchers are going. Cespedes is gone. That was the other outfielder. I think McCullers is right there. And, oh, there it is. My starting pitching is complete. And it looks good. I like it. Now, let's see here. I need a shortstop. I need some outfield. Whit Merrifield is a guy that I really like. I've taken him in at least one of my drafts. And I'm going to slot him in the outfield here. He's outfield and second base eligible. So I had him actually set aside just in case I needed a second baseman when I got that deep. I ended up picking up Ramirez because he fell to me and I couldn't pass him up. And then Rendon to go in my third base spot. So Whitfield will now slot nicely into the outfield. And what I like about him is that he brings a little bit of pop and a little bit of speed. He stole 34 bases last year. He's projected to steal 27 this year. Now, who knows if he'll have the same amount of pop. You know, his OPS isn't off the charts. It was 784 last year. 735 is his projection this year. But he did hit 20 home runs last year. Or 19 home runs. For shortstop, my fallback was Chris Taylor from the Dodgers. He had a great year last year, and he's going pretty deep. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of shortstop options in between there. I see Gene Segura is available, and he's a pretty decent option for bringing some stolen bases, some balance with stolen bases, and he's got a little bit of pop as well. Can hit about 10, 15 home runs. They're projecting him at 29 stolen bases in Yahoo. And I've got a lot of stolen bases. Joey Gallo might not be a bad option for one of my outfield slots, and he's got some versatility at first, third, and outfield. "36 home runs projected, hit 41 home runs last year. I think he strikes out a ton and has a low batting average, but we're in an OPS league, so I'm not worried about that. No surprise there. Dumb guy Heath drafted Berrios, and he got Diaz. So let's see here. I doubt Kane is going to be available by the time my pick comes around. 5 more picks, and he's ranked up there towards the top. Ryan Braun is available in the outfield. I just don't trust him. I think I might slot Segura in for my my shortstop. Not the strongest shortstop, but he does bring the stolen bases. He does bring some home runs. He scores runs. They're projecting 91 runs scored. He scored 80 runs last year. I wouldn't mind him being my shortstop. And again, I've got some guys that I'm going to fall back on that I'm going to put on my bench just in case. There's Chris Taylor. There's Didi Gregorius. That's another guy that I'll be eyeballing late to put on my bench. Come on, Smilebacks. Pick the lamb at the last second. Kane is still sitting there. I do need outfield. He brings stolen bases, some home runs, but I need shortstop. I think I'm going to pick up Segura. Domingo Santana just got swooped. And Segura it is. If everything goes right, my next 2 picks, I'll pick up Gallo and Merrifield, and they will round out my outfield. And I like those guys. 1, Gallo brings the pop. 2, Whitfield brings the stolen bases, and also some home runs. So. I can also start looking at relief pitching now. Filippo Rivera is a guy that I have in one of my other leagues, and I do like what he has to offer potential-wise. He had a 1.67 ERA last year with a .89 WHIP. Not projected to do quite so well, but they're projecting him 35 saves, 2.66, 104 whip. I actually may use my next pick to get Rivera. Gallo, I could take him or leave him. I was just trying to fill an outfield spot, and I do like the home runs. But I think there's other options out there for outfield. I would rather have Merrifield actually as well. So with Gallo and Rivera going around the same area, I'm probably not going to be able to get them both. So I will take Rivera if he is available. We got 3 guys drafting 3 picks ahead of me, so we'll see if he lasts. There's a couple more relievers on the board. Brad Hand of the Padres and Iglesias of the Reds. Both of them will be decent options as well, I think, at the closer position. But they're all ranked in like the 11th round, so 11th to 12th round. So the chances are there's going to be a little run on relievers. I already saw one a little bit earlier, but there might be another one depending on who needs a second closer still. I don't have one yet, so I probably need to take at least one of them. My dog's going crazy downstairs for some reason. Okay, Smoke and Zimmerman just went, and now it's Sully. Sully's Giants. What are you going to do, Sully's Giants? We joked before the draft started that since we have such opposite opinions on who we want, that we would not risk taking each other's players. So we'll see if that's the case. Huh, look at that, he took Gallo. That's okay, I wasn't going to take him, but I did have him in my queue. I'm going to take Rivera. All right. I only need one more relief pitcher to round out my pitching. But my next pick is going to be Merrifield. And he will be my second to last outfielder. You know who I might take as well if he's available? Matt Olson with the A's. He's projected to hit 33 home runs this season. He hit 24 home runs in just 189 at bats last year. There's no way he's going to keep up that pace, but 33 is not a bad projection for home runs. Looks like Dumb Guy Heath also wanted Gallo, so we're all chatting about how Joe swooped on all of us. I like Whit Merrifield. He's ranked just a couple of spots ahead of Olson, but I actually like the potential of the 33 home runs. So I may swap them. I'm going to have a couple of picks pretty close together here. Or I can take Iglesias and wrap up my pitching and then fall back on whoever's left out of Merrifield or Olson. I also was eyeing Greg Bird for one of my utility spots. I was actually eyeing him as a fallback at first base, but I ended up picking up Myers instead. I picked Myers. Oops, just kicked the camera. I picked Myers up at about the point I was thinking about taking an outfielder, but I did want the stolen bases and the power that he brought. And I had a hard time going with somebody else. All right, Smilebacks are in deep thought here. He just took hand. See, and that's my concern as well. Who's going to be left in the relief pitching arena when the time comes? I wasn't really planning on, digging too deep for relief pitching. Oh, there goes Iglesias. So that's settled. I don't need to worry about that now. Doolittle is still out there. Oh, Olson just went. So dumb guy Heath just swooped on the two guys that I was eyeballing. Big surprise there. So I guess that's gonna leave me with Doolittle. I picked Doolittle up last year when he got traded to the Nationals, and he closed for them, and he was good. He wouldn't be a bad relief pitcher to slot in there. It would be nice to wrap up my pitching and just focus on hitting after that. There are some guys here that I like for both my utility spot and for my last outfield spots. I like Mazzara with Texas. I like Manuel Margot from San Diego. I've got him in another one of my leagues. I'm expecting him to have a pretty good season. I like the stolen bases and the potential there. So those are some guys I can fall back on. Castellanos, that's another guy who's got some pop. And he's third base and outfield eligible. So these are some guys that I'm not against. Didi Gregorius is still there, still available. He's a guy that would be good for my bench. But I'm not ready for bench right now. I need to fill some other slots. So I'm going to put Doolittle in my queue, and I think I'm going to wrap up my pitching. And unless somebody reaches for Whitfield or Merrifield, he'll be there waiting for me. David Price is an interesting pitcher. He just got taken 113th, and he's starting pitcher, relief pitcher eligible. So he would have been an interesting guy to slot into a relief pitcher position and punt saves. I think he's going to have a bounce back season, though. I really want to get a hold of him in one of my other leagues because I really did punt saves. I've got one relief pitcher, one closer. It's a points league, so no, is it a points? It's a roto league. So if I'm going to punt it, I need to punt it completely. So I'm trying to trade Cody Allen for David Price, so I could slot him into my other relief pitcher position. All right, Doolittle got swooped on me. Ohtani just went. Now what am I going to do? Man. I guess, oh man. Kane is still there. Why is Kane fallen so far back? Really surprises me. I can get Kane and Whitfield and I could wrap up my outfield. Not a lot of pop in my outfield, but Moustakas is still available. I've got him in one of my other leagues, and I don't think I want to put that much stock in him. Adam Jones is another guy that's available, and again, I'm not super high on him. Man. Pulled the trigger on Merrifield. Let's take a look at outfielders and see what we got. Desmond. You know what? Duvall and Schwarber are guys that I like. Jay Bruce is another good option. He's first base and outfield eligible. He's going pretty deep. Projected to hit 33 home runs. That's really what I'm looking for right now, is I'm looking for home runs. I think I'm going to pick up Greg Bird for my first utility spot. And then Neris, hopefully Neris is available for my last closer slot. He's going down in the 15th round, 15th pick area. Let's see here. There we go. So, yeah, I could use some home runs. My home runs look kind of slim. I've got, projection-wise, we've got 34 Gary Sanchez, 28 Myers, 25 from Ramirez, 21 for Rendon, and then 14, 12, 14 for Segura, Pollock, and Merrifield. Seager, Colombe is gone. Good, I didn't want Colombe. Colombe, whatever, however you pronounce it. Alright. Drafted Bird for my bench. Or no, for my utility spot. And I think Neris will be my next pick. I've got 11 picks until my next pick. And hopefully he's available. I think he's the next best closer available. I will be picking up my very last closer with my 14th round pick And then I'll just need an outfielder and one more utility spot. And I'm hoping that those will be some home run hitters, some power hitters. Duvall, I like Duvall. If he gets his second half numbers up, he will be really good. Bruce, Jay Bruce, another guy, got some pop, got a decent OPS. I think he could be a good person to slot into the utility spot. Both of them are outfield eligible. Both of them would fit into the utility spot. Bruce is first base eligible as well, so that adds just a little bit of versatility. Moustakas is still sitting up there. He's ranked 101, according to Yahoo here. That's the expert rank, or whatever this is. Expert preseason rank, 101. We're already to the 129th overall pick, and he's still sitting there. If he's still sitting there for my next pick, which is in 8 more picks, I might take him, because that's a lot of value for a guy who hit 38 home runs last year. And I've got him in my utility spot in one of my other leagues. I think he's going to be out to prove himself that those 38 home runs were not a joke. They were real. Based on the contract that he got and what he had to basically give into to go back to the Royals, I think he's going to be on a mission to dominate, and he wants that big contract next year. A lot of pitchers going now. Catchers and pitchers. The last 6 or 7 picks, let's see. Wood, Grandal, Real Muto, Weaver, Castillo, Cueto, and then Osuna. Looks like dumb guy Heath reached a bit for Osuna. Or Acuna. I don't know how to pronounce it. I guess it might be Acuna. I don't think Acuna is on the Major League roster to start the season. So he's going to be a stash. He's a grab and stash. Could pay dividends when he does come up. I'm not sure what the timetable is for him to come up. I did it a couple years ago. Similar move with Chris Bryant. I picked him in, I think I got him in like the 12th round, something like that. And it paid off. All right, we got 5 more picks here. Moustakas finally went. I was gonna be surprised if he got all the way down to me. I'm gonna stick with my plan now, and I'm gonna take Neris and and wrap up my relief pitching. Wrap up my pitching altogether. Hopefully, he's available in 4 more picks. Chris Taylor just went. I did like him. He's a good... everything worked out for me. I didn't have to dig that deep for a shortstop, but he was going to be a fallback. I like his versatility, being second base, shortstop, outfield eligible. We'll see if he can repeat what he did last year. All right, my pick, and I'm going to take Hector Neris. Feeling good. My pitching is all done, wrapped up. I need an outfield and a utility spot. And I think I'm going to go Bruce. No, Duvall. If Duvall's available, I'll take Duvall because I could pick up Bruce a couple rounds later, and or he's ranked a couple rounds later, so I could pick him up and put him in the utility spot. I think I have a pretty balanced team when it comes to stolen bases. I've got several 20-plussers. I've got a good-looking OPS. RBIs look nice. My home runs are a little bit short, but I'm going to fill that up with my outfield and my utility slots. Runs scored looks good. And then my pitching looks really good. Really did what I needed to do with my pitching. Okay, I'm up again, and it looks like I can do what I planned and take Duvall. And hope that he figures out his second half slump. Did somebody draft Schwarber? Schwarber was another guy I was kind of keeping an eye on. Come in. You can come in for a minute, Lily. Come in and give me a hug. I told her she could come in. Come on. No crying on camera. Okay, because I'm recording. Okay. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. See you right up there. Say hi.
Hi.
Come over here. Come here. You gotta turn around. Come here so you can say hi. There you go. Now say hi. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Say good luck, Daddy. All right, go. Close the door for me. The struggle is real. Now I've got Bruce, Jay Bruce, pegged for my next pick, but because I got to fill a utility slot, but he's projected a couple rounds later, a couple picks later for me, so I might be able to get in there and get somebody from my bench, somebody like I like Yoan Moncada. Because he's projected to steal 28 bases. He's projected to hit 17 home runs, and score 87 runs. I mean, that's a pretty decent weapon to have on your bench. Because if you need stolen bases, you could throw him in to your utility spot for a week. He could also slot into second base if I needed to move things around, it would give me a lot of flexibility. It's great that I've got Jose Ramirez because he's second and third base eligible, so I can move him around if there's injuries, anything like that. So got a lot of possibilities. I'm running the battery down on my camera here. So if we go down, that's why. You guys want a different angle here? I'm going to give you a different angle. Woo! Okay, switching it up a little bit. So I can plug this bad boy in. Okay. Are you charging? I don't know if you're charging. Should be charging. Okay. Alright, so I was on Moncada, and I think he will be my next grab if he's available in 3 picks. Although I've got 2 second base eligible guys already, so in Merrifield and Ramirez. Maybe not. Oh man, somebody just swooped in on Villar. Man, I had him in my queue. He was ranked all the way down. He was ranked really far down. I thought I was going to have all the chance in the world to get him. I still like the idea of Moncada. And I don't like anybody else. Polanco is still sitting there. He just doesn't do it for me. Hold the trigger on Moncada. And I think I'll now go back to my plan of Bruce. I like the idea of DeYoung as well. He's second base and shortstop eligible, so he'll give me some backup at shortstop. That'll be a lot of second base eligible players, though. There's also a couple starting pitchers I like in Garrett Richards, Marcus Stroman. These are nice bench pitchers that I can stock up on. I wanted to go look at some of these other teams as well. Crash. Fist fight. This is Dumb Guy Heath. He's got a lot of home runs. Not a ton of stolen bases, but some stolen bases. His pitching looks all right. Not super great. Let's look at Sully's Giants. Ooh, man. Yikes. This does not look good. Oh, man, what did he do? Yeah. I like Arenado. Got one good guy. Yeah, I don't want to look at that team anymore. It's hurting my eyes. All right. I'm going to take Bruce right here. I need the home runs. I'm going to take it. Put him on my bench. And then I'm going to start queuing up some guys here that I like. That will be more bench guys. Kipnis is off to a hot spring. He could be a good guy to stash away. Delano DeShields is another guy that I've been looking at. His potential to steal bases is there. I believe that guy stole 100 bases in the minors, if I'm not getting him confused with somebody else. Oh, Stroman got swooped before I had a chance to even consider drafting him. That's my bedroom. All right. Yadier Molina just got picked, 168th. I think he's a great option at catcher in a roto league. He's got a good batting average. Or in a batting average league, he might be good. But he's still a pretty deep catcher. Smileback's taking it down to the seconds here to Gardner. Mr. Dumb Guy Heath with his back-to-back picks. Who is he going to take? Albies. He's been high on him. I think he's bought a lot of stock in that guy. Joe just called it the all-Atlanta rookie team. Oh, he got Kipnis. I had Kipnis in my queue. Oh well, I got a lot of people in my queue. Ryan Mcmahon is another guy that I like. He's going to play, I think, first base for Colorado. He's their touted rookie. I may go DeYoung here because I don't have a shortstop backup. And then Garrett Richards will be my next pick. And then McMahon, and then maybe Chapman with the A's. Oh, Richard just went. I guess maybe I should have taken Richards first. I like McMahon because he plays in Colorado. And he's off to a pretty good start in spring. We are in the 19th round. This thing's going to be over pretty soon. Five more bench spots to fill. So I guess we have 7 bench spots. That's a lot of bench. It's only a 10-team league, so we're pretty deep. I mean, shallow, whatever you want to call it. A lot of good guys still left on the board. All right. I think it's a little bit early to take McMahon or Chapman because they're really deep. So I may pick up Josh Bell. I've got him in another one of my leagues and see how he does. I still have no pitching on my bench. There was a real run on starting pitching. All the guys I had in my sights are gone. Nobody really interests me. Let's hope nobody gets hurt. Cole Hamels had a rough year last year. I had drafted him, and he was hurt for the first time in his career, basically. So he only pitched 148 innings. He did get 11 wins. He had 11 wins, but 4.20 ERA. He's projected to do a little bit better this year. Not sure he's the kind of guy I'm going to pick up and put on my bench. If I need a pitcher come the season, I'll check the waivers. So I'm gonna go hitter heavy on my bench, I think, which I already am. A lot of picks until I'm up, so let's go take a look at some teams here. Smileback's got Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge. I wouldn't mind those home runs. Man, he's got a lot of home runs projected on his team. Whoo-wee. Not a lot of stolen bases, though. And I don't like his pitching staff that much. Let's see what the Tweedlebeetle's got. He's got some guys I don't like. Oh, he's the one that swooped on Villar. Man, he went deep for Villar. To Shields. Man, he's got a lot of guys that I don't like. He's got Trey Turner. He's got Charlie Blackmon. He's got Nelson Cruz. Guys that I was avoiding, like Robinson Cano, Cody Bellinger. I don't know. He's got a couple of guys that I was targeting, but he reached for him, like Villar. He's got Doolittle. On his bench, he drafted 3 closers. That's interesting. He's got Nebel, Giles, and Doolittle. So, interesting strategy, Tweedle. Mad Hunter. He's got some, he doesn't have any stolen bases, but he's got some home runs. A lot of home runs. A lot of home runs on his bench. He went deep. He waited a long time for pitching, but man, he picked up the top closers. You got Jansen and Kimbrel. I don't know if that's the best strategy in this league, but he's going to have an advantage when it comes to saves. I don't think his starting rotation is going to live up to it, though. All right, my pick is coming up. I still think I got some wiggle room here with McMahon and Chapman, so I'm going to pick up Trey Mancini. First base outfield eligible. Let's see what I've got going on here. I've got a second base shortstop backup. Got a backup at first base. I got backup at outfield. I don't have a third base backup. Actually, I kind of do because I've got Ramirez, who's third base and second base eligible. So if something were to happen, I can rearrange my lineup and get third base covered. I don't have a backup catcher. That's not a surprise. Got plenty of outfield on my bench. I have no pitching on my bench, and I just don't see anybody that's really got me excited enough to grab and put on my bench. I sure would like some home runs, though, some more home runs. But the guys that are going to get you the home runs, they don't look very good to me. If Conforto wasn't hurt, I've got him in another league, and I like his projections. But he's not coming back. He's not going to play until like May sometime. So I could pick him up, put him on my DL. Jackie Bradley Jr. is an interesting guy. A couple years ago, he had a really good year. All right, let's see here. So I could pick up Jackie Bradley. Get another guy in my outfield. Or I could do McMahon. I'm going to go young. I'm going to go McMahon. Jackie Bradley's still available in my next pick. I'll take him. And then I think Chapman will be my final pick. You know what? I lied. There is a guy that I kind of like. There's a pitcher that I kind of like, and that's Clevenger. He's starting pitcher, relief pitcher eligible. Had a 3.11 ERA last year, 137 strikeouts in just 121 innings. 12 wins. Indians are good. He's in the rotation. He could be good. I've picked him up in another one of my leagues, so he may be my next pick. And then I will go with either Jackie Bradley or Chapman. Probably Chapman for the home runs. I was looking up Bradley, though. His 2 years ago, he had a really good year. So, let's see. He hit 26 home runs in 2016. 87 RBIs, 94 runs scored, 835 OPS. He doesn't really steal bases, might get you 8 or 9 a year. But if he could return to those numbers, he would be a steal where he's going in the draft right now. Looks like Heath is going to take a chance on Conforto. I've already got him in one of my other leagues, so I don't need to hold on to him in that many leagues. If he pays off, he's going to pay off in my other one. Just 2 more picks to go. People really take their time filling their bench in. Taking a lot of time here. There we go, speeding it up now. Ducks on the pond. He's the new guy in our league. It's the first year he's playing with us. See how he does.